Hello guys, this is a video of medisujok.com from the International Medical Journal of Sujok, and we are here to discuss Triorigen models, their upgradations, and about the food consciousness. Now, about the Triorigen science, I just want to tell you that Triorigen is the most fundamental science ever existed in this universe, and it controls all the phenomena which are occurring in this universe. Triorigen, as given by Professor Park Jae-woo, is a self-evolutionary science. It cannot be static. It is dynamic. It is self-evolving. It is evolving every moment and creating new universes, new dimensions, and new Triorigen units are being created, Triorigen dimensions are created, and each unit of this universe, including the atom or the electron, consists of the Triorigen. While understanding of the disease is concerned, in the past 3 to 4 years, I have been working on the lifestyle diseases, and it's been very difficult for me personally to deal with the lifestyle diseases, especially the disease of the cancer, disease of the diabetes, disease of the heart, disease of the hypertension, and autoimmune disease. I am being successful in many of the cases of hypertension, diabetes, and autoimmune disease, and then some very few cases of the cancer. But still, with the highest level of the consciousness with Suchok, it was difficult to control all this disease. And while we are all dealing with the most fundamental laws of the universe, I was wondering why there is no permanent cure for this disease. What is been lacking? And while reading the Triorigen World book again, and during small meditation, new upgradations came. And these new upgradations have happened at the very basic level of the Triorigen models of the self surroundings. And then now let's read it and understand how Triorigen has evolved over the past 1 year, and now it's been very easy for us to tackle all lifestyle diseases. Let's talk about Triorigen model of the self surroundings, where Professor Park has classified as a Triorigen model of self surroundings, where self is the neuter, time is the hetero, space is the homo, and the self movement is neutral. And then reading about the Triorigen model of self, we say that in the self there are four parts: soul is neutral, mind is hetero, body is homo, and the life is neutral. These are the four basic types of Triorigen model of self. Then if we take the example and try to understand that how much high consciousness we Sujok practitioners have achieved up till now, and we again study the Triorigen model of self surroundings, then if we take and suppose we take an example of a car, suppose a big manufacturer like Mercedes-Benz owner develops a Mercedes-Benz supercomputer car which has everything in it like a human body, then we can say that this car has when it is made, it comes into the existence on the road. It has a model of self surroundings. It is surrounded by four things. It is surrounded by time. It is in the time. It is in the space, and it is self. It is the car, and its movements will be considered as the self movement. Now, what problems this car can have? Suppose this car has the time problem, and it is made in the wrong time, or it was the stars was not right, and if suppose it goes on to the road at the wrong time when the war is going, something like that is happening, then this car can blast away at any time. And we as the Sujok practitioners have the capacity to tackle this problem of time. That simply what we can do is just change the time, and this problem can be solved. This is the level of consciousness of all the Sojok healers, that they know how to tackle time acupuncture via season problems, and then we have homotype acupuncture, heterotype acupuncture, and neutrotype acupuncture, and we have almost mastered the dimension of time, that we are able to deal with any process of the time, any problems of the time. So suppose some problem this car has related to time, the Sojok practitioner can deal with it. Now, other thing which this car can have problem in the surroundings is of the space. Suppose you park this car in the wrong place, and then somebody hits this car and it has problem, or it is not in the right vastu, or wrong feng shui is there where in the garage, then this car can have problems, maybe minor or major, but all these problems can again be solved by the Sojok practitioner with the highest level of consciousness of trials in feng shui, or trials in space joint calculations as told by our mentor Professor Park, and we can solve it very easily. And then there are some problems this car can have in the self movement, like if you are moving this car at very high speeds or very low speeds, then car can get very low average, and many problems can happen leading to brake failure or some leak of the diesel if the movements are not right. And we as the Sojok practitioner again can deal all these problems, because we know the concept of movement via smile tai chi, via samwang rong, via samwon dong, smile yoga. We can give the right posture, the right speed, right kind of start, so that this car moves very smoothly and the full body of this car is fully fit and joints are fit. This has been mastered by us. Regarding the problems of the self, this car can have four types of problems. One is the problem of mind. Of this car can have mind problem. These are the Triorigen model of self. And this car can have soul problem. This car can have life problem. This car can have body problem. Regarding the mind problem, we all have mastered the mind part of problems like emotions. We have mastered how to cure that, and then we are able to deal with reasons, emotions, and intentions. All these problems have been discussed in our Sojok syllabus everywhere, and we are able to deal with it. This car can have body problems. There can be problem in the functional system of this car, there can be problem in the layer system of this car, there can be problem in energy system of this car, there can be problem in the communication system, layer system, and all these kinds of problems. Or correspondence system of this car can have the problem framework, basic design framework is called the correspondence system, which a model a person takes before making the car. All these problems can be solved with our Triorigen body acupuncture, and all of us are doing it with a great deal of success, and we are able to solve all the problems. This car can have life problems. It can be personal life, it can be spiritual life, it can be social life, it can be family life problems, and Sojok practitioners have mastered that also. All these problems we are being able to solve. This car can have soul problems, and as a Sojok practitioner we have a joint on our hand, and we can deal with very serious type of soul problems of with our Triorigen acupuncture, and we have been successful in the past in many of those cases. So now if I say that, if suppose this car, you fill this car with the fuel of very bad quality, like there is power fuel which we get in Delhi, which is a very good high quality fuel, and this fuel which you are filling in this car is a very poor quality, then what can happen? What can happen is this car will crash. It will not run. The engine will go within 1 month, go away. It will be jammed. There will be so much of noise. There will be so much of smoke coming out of the car. There will be engine warming, and car can burst. So this problem, suppose you are able to deal with time, you are able to deal with space, you are able to deal with soul, mind, time, space, moment. But if you are filling the wrong kind of fuel in this car, you this car has to have the problems. Now, how to deal with it? Now, in our these two basic Triorigen models of the self surroundings and the self, where this part remains, this fuel part, and then we now discuss about it in detail, because Triorigen is a complete science. Triorigen should be able to solve all the phenomena of this universe, and our models of Triorigen should be fully upgraded. And if not upgraded, they have to upgrade, because Triorigen is a self-evolving science that it will upgrade itself. This is the beauty of the Triorigen. So let's see what happens. So the idea came in the mind that this model has to be upgraded. And while reading the Triorigen World book again, and listening to Professor seminars, I got at some point of time when Professor discussed that Triorigen model of self-surrounding is actually consisting not of 4 parts but of 5 parts. The fifth part, which he mentioned as uh, the self is neuter, time is hetero, space is homo, and the self movement is neutral. And he included in this self surrounding model as him, the God, participating as a zero neuter, and in this universal level drama as a director governing this space. And then while concentrating on this him part, where the God is participating in the surroundings and meditating self small meditation, the new information was channeled. uh, this him part is actually the nature in our surroundings, the nature which is him. The nature is surrounding us. This nature has been created by him to support our body, our mind, our soul, and our lives. This nature has been created to support our existence. Without this nature, we cannot survive. This consciousness and this new thought has changed the scenario. And then further upgradations came during small meditation. During small meditation, this new model was channeled as Triorigen model of nature's support for the existence of the self. This nature is around us, and how this nature supports us. It contains of 4 parts. The neutral no part is the calming sounds of the nature for the ears to listen. Suppose we are sitting near sea and listening to the music of the water flowing, or we will be so calm, we will be so relaxed, and it will be like anything. And suppose you are listening to the sound of the factory machines, there's so much of bad noise around you, there's dog barking around you, you will be disturbed. And so that's why in the surroundings, the sounds of the calming sounds created by the nature for our ears to listen plays a very important role. In the same way as the hetero counterpart, the beautiful sights created by the nature for our eyes to see. Suppose in the very morning you are near a sea and seeing the sun rise and seeing the sunset, your soul will be so calm and relaxed and you will feel peace. But suppose you are seeing somebody murdering some person, and you will be shocked if some wrong thing is happening, very bad thing is happening in front of you. Suppose some accident happens, then you are shocked. So in this way, the beautiful sights actually created by like seeing a sightseeing. You go to some hill station and you are going somewhere in the Manali and seeing some beautiful Solang Valley or Rotang, or you are in Switzerland seeing some beautiful places, and all these beautiful sights have been created by the nature for our eyes to see. In the same way, the nature has created at the homo counterpart the soothing aromas, these smells, like the smell of the rose for our nose to smell. If you are inhaling some very soothing aroma, like Professor Park used to inhale frequently the aroma of the rose, and he was so happy. It makes the soul smile. Those beautiful aromas, those which have been created by the nature for our nose to smell. And as the neutral counterpart, nature has created some very tasty foods for the mouth to eat. Suppose you are eating something very like mango and or some watermelon, and your mouth is tasting like anything, and you are at peace and relaxing. And suppose you are eating something very, very, very salty or very bitter, and suddenly you feel uh, bad about it, and this brings you into stress. So these tasty foods like vegetables, many fruits, and grams and nuts have been created by the nature for our mouth to eat and enjoy. So this Triorigen model of nature's support for the existence of the self has been added to the Triorigen model of the self surroundings, and the Triorigen model of self surroundings has upgraded to solve the problem dealing with the lifestyle disease. And if we carefully see this model, out of all the phenomena, the neutral part, that is the mouth about tasty foods, that it has drastically shaken the mankind and has led to the evolution of lifestyle diseases, because tasty food, as we know, actually the food part has been drastically changed by us. Otherwise, most of the times also we are being shocked by the noise pollution, which is creating health problems. And like, if you are not visiting some hill stations and not seeing beautiful sights, working in your own environment, and you are under stress. And if you are not in working in some bad factory where leather work is there or some cotton work is there, and you are not you're inhaling very bad smells, then you may become sick. In the same way, if you are not taking the food with the proper consciousness, then you may develop disease. And while dealing with this aspect of science of trigen food consciousness, I led to the conclusion that with the eating wrong kind of food, we are developing all the lifestyle diseases, and which has led to the explanations which have already been given by me in the Triorigen food consciousness article, that how uh, these different kinds of food with different kinds of consciousness, wrong kind of consciousness, can lead to the development of the lifestyle diseases. Like the lifestyle diseases, also there's a Triorigen model of the lifestyle diseases, which consists of four parts: as neutro, no, with dangerous one, cancers; hetero, where the person, cancer is neutral. Why? Because it is the last stage, and it will definitely take you back into the zero world, and very difficult to tackle. And hypertension and the heart disease as the hetero counterpart, because in these two diseases the death usually happens suddenly. Diabetes as homo counterpart kills you slowly, and the autoimmune disease as malfunctioning of the immune system causes all these diseases, and all these diseases are been have developed in our body because of the wrong kind of consciousness of taking wrong kind of food. And if we are not evolving ourselves to raise ourselves to that level of consciousness that we can eat right kind of food, we cannot cure this disease. So it is very important to understand Triorigen food consciousness. Now, in past 6 months, with the rise of the Triorigen food consciousness, just with the uh, correcting the food in the people with 6 key and Triorigen consciousness, we have been able to deal very fast with heart disease, hypertension disease, diabetes goes off within 72 hours. And recently we have launched a DVD in New Delhi about the cure of diabetes within 72 hours with just change of the diet. And it has led us to win all this lifestyle disease. Cancer has been explained fully with Triorigen food consciousness, and we are right now in the process of curing some people dealing with having cancer. And autoimmune disease, as I have explained already in my Triorigen food consciousness article, that how you develop autoimmune disease with eating wrong kind of food with hetero or homo consciousness. Just with the change of food, I am being successful in many kinds of autoimmune disease like rheumatoid arthritis, SLE, and people are improving. And this has led to the development of this new seminars on Triorigen food consciousness, which will be presented sooner to the general population. So, guys, Triorigen food consciousness as the nature participating in the Triorigen model of the self surroundings, him participating, the neutral part of the him participating, it has to be corrected fully. Until and unless we correct it, we cannot cure lifestyle disease. This is a fact. And this is for final conclusion. And thanks to Professor Park Jae-woo for his constant support in completing and upgrading the Triorigen models. And the Triorigen is everything. Triorigen